In Consumer Corner, we take a look at trends and products creating a buzz here in China. On today's show, we'll discuss the struggles of Chinese watch brands to make the leap toward luxury. With China's nouveau riche bursting at the seams with cash and the desire to spend it ostentatiously, luxury markets in the country have boomed. But when it comes to cashing in on the luxury boom, foreign brands have made off like bandits, and domestic Chinese brands have been forced to accept a secondary role. Last year, China became the second largest market for luxury goods, second only to America. The most purchased items included bags, watches, and cars, but Chinese brands remained firmly shut out of the competition and the profits. One area where this trend is most apparent is the market for luxury watches. While Rolexes and other foreign brands have become a status symbol, China's leading watch brands have watched their standing slide. 30 years ago, before reform and opening swept the country, China had a range of domestic watches viewed as luxury products. Brands like Seagull, Shanghai, and five-star watches were all status symbols at the time. In the 1970s, a Shanghai brand watch went for 4 to 5 times the monthly salary of workers. But faced with competition from foreign brands, these Chinese brands have lost nearly all of their former prestige. High-end domestic watches now sell for around $160, one-third of the price of their European competitors. Some of the domestic brands have taken a shot at achieving luxury status. Seagull, a brand that once exuded class, has been fighting to regain the lost glory by making increasingly expensive watches. China Fortune Character magazine named Seagull one of the 10 Chinese brands with the greatest potential to become a luxury product, but its efforts to date have largely fizzled. The Beijing Youth Daily reported on the spectacular flop that has been the most expensive Seagull products. The brand has produced a customized watch selling for nearly $50,000, an even higher-end one that sells for over $1,000,000 yuan, nearly $270,000. The prevailing ethos appears to be that the price creates the market, and anything priced that high will attract customers for its sheer boldness and the status implied. That gimmick may work with international brands, but for Seagull, it's been a spectacular failure. Since debuting in 2010, the $1,000,000 yuan watch has been purchased just twice. Luxury watch brands have found themselves repeatedly confronted by the same problem. Chinese consumers have deeply ingrained and sometimes well-founded prejudices against Chinese brands. Domestically produced products are seen as the sensible and thrifty alternative to splurging on foreign imports. Netizens have taken to the web to discuss what's behind the weakness of Chinese brands in the eyes of Chinese consumers. One poster wrote, "China's so-called luxury brands like Seagull and Maotai are really weak in brand marketing. All they do is rely on bland slogans that call the product historical, distinctive, national. All successful brands represent a lifestyle that ordinary people dream of, and they use this to arouse consumers' desire. Quality is important, but there is definitely no excuse for ignoring these aspects. Both Maotai and Seagull have a long way to go in terms of advertising." Another netizen seconded the emphasis on marketing. Poster Yeyou Dashen wrote, "In an age when you've got to oversell everything, some watch brands act in the complete opposite way, underselling their own brand. Seagull still falls short of adequate marketing and brand awareness. The days of believing good wine needs no flourish have long passed, but it seems the minds of Seagull and other established watch brands aren't with the times." Finally, one netizen blamed the stigma of made in China for domestic economic troubles. Poster Huangjing Changcheng wrote, "Made in China doesn't give anyone confidence in a product, and this pushes people to go on shopping sprees for luxury goods when they're traveling abroad. In the days when China desperately needs to boost domestic demand, the country is handing over tens of billions of dollars each year. In the end, China is helping with the revitalization of the Western market, while its own luxury brands haven't gotten off the ground yet." These scathing assessments of the strength of domestic brands run deep in modern Chinese culture. How even mid-level domestic brands will compete when more Chinese can afford imports remains a major question for the country.